Shabbat Shalom, Israel. I want to give a call, Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, Omalak Yahushua. That's giving all honor and praises to the Most High God and to His Son, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We the Battle Axes of the Most High just come out to bring you another class, another edifying class during the Feast of Dedication. Happy Feast of Dedications and happy Sabbath to all you brothers and sisters that will watch the video. Like and share and subscribe. Help us push this truth around the four corners of the earth. I'm Soldier Donovan. I got Soldier Razatok. Got Soldier Daoud with me, man, today, man. And shalom to all the brothers and sisters that will tune in, man. Title of the class is We Fight Together, We Win Together. We fight together, we win together. Because coming into the dedication, I know a lot of brothers and sisters have read 1st Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees, reading about the dedication and what it means. But a lot of times we forget what the part of the true meaning of dedication is. Yes, dedicating the altar, but you have to look at the people who opposed, guess what, the authority of the king of Antiochus. You have to see that all of them gathered together as a group in one band and came together to keep God's law, statutes, commandments. Guess what? We all dedicating our temple separately, but the thing is, we all went to go clean one sanctuary that we all could dwell in. We all want to make it to the kingdom, and we all got to do this together. Guess what? The Lord said, hey, yeah, you do work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. But guess what? The Lord always said two is better than one, too. This is how we do these things, and we got to make sure we're in the right spirit during this dedication. Guess what? We know you are supposed to be purging yourself, but from what? And that's kind of what we're just going to touch on today, man. Shalom, shalom, brother, your call, man. Shalom, shalom, Moses, the messenger, man. Shalom, you brothers. Let's go. First precept, I'm going to go to Psalms, chapter 86 and verse 14.
The book of Psalms, chapter 86, verse 14.
Bring it up.
O God, the proud are risen against me. In the assembly of violent men have sought after my soul.
So guess what the Lord said? David said, hey, the proud have risen against me, man. And the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul. We got to look in this wicked kingdom that we're living in right now. The proud have risen against us, man. They've sit up here. They set up these laws, these legislations, these ways for us, our so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to fall, man. They do all these things, and they come together and do these things as one band and one sound. Like Psalms 83, they make an evil tumult. The damn heathen come together to pull us down. Why can't we come together as a nation of people and come serve our God in order, man? This is how we do these things, man. We do these things in order, and we do these things to serve our Lord, man. And that's all we just got to do, right? But it says, oh God, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. But verse 15, it says, but thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion and gracious, long-suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth. Because this is what the Lord, this is his love that he had towards us. Even when you're going through your worst trials and your worst tribulations that you think you can face as a man or as a woman in this truth, know that the Lord is gracious and he has full of compassion to even allow you to be in this truth, allow you to go through these afflictions so that he can prove you. The Lord said he got to prove you as gold tried in the fire. How can he try you and how can he purify you and purge you if he can't put you through nothing, man? You got to be willing to be a great soldier for the Lord, man. And these are the things that we're just going to have to go through. So just to keep it in the spirit of dedication, just knowing that these things that, hey, it wasn't easy for them to dedicate the temple. They had to go against the king's commandments, flee into the mountains, flee into the woods. Guess what, man? Even had to kill some wicked Israelites. Guess what? They got killed a lot. Children were killed. Women were killed. Guess what? Newborn babies were hung on trees. Like, this is the things that we went through as a nation of people. But guess what? All to the end of the wits of what? Proving us, finding us worthy, and guess what? Getting the temple back and dedicating it to our God, man. But verse 16.
Verse 16. O turn unto me, and have mercy upon me.
Right.
Give thy strength unto thy servant.
Right.
And save the son of thy handmaid.
Right. Read.
Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it.
Read.
And be ashamed, because thou, Lord, hast hoping me, and comfort me.
Guess what, man? It says, show me the token for good, man, that they that hate me may see it. Guess what? The Lord has gave us this token, what he's gave you this truth. He gave you the light. He gave you understanding of the Bible. He gave you understanding of who you are now. You're no longer discontinued from your heritage. You no longer know what Feast of Dedication is. Guess what? You were used to be celebrating Christmas. Now you're celebrating Feast of Dedication, man. These are how the Lord works, and this is how he pours his spirit back into his people. Guess what? We might not look at these small, minute things and these feast days. We might just kind of keep now because, oh, that's what we're doing. But that wasn't what you were doing for 10 years, 15, 30, 40, 50 years, man. You was keeping birthday parties, kickbacks, barbecue parties for Granny's 50th anniversary. This is what you was doing back then. But guess what? Now you're keeping new moons. Now you're keeping Sabbath. Guess what? Now we're keeping Feast of Dedication, keeping Passover, keeping the damn tabernacles. You're keeping all these things because now you're in order with your God, man. Don't think these things are light, or don't think these things are just something easy to do, because a lot of people, if it was easy, everybody would be here, right? Everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be happy doing it. But the thing is, it's hard for us to do as a nation of people, because why? Israel love drama. Israel love mess. Israel love doing things against their God, man. This is what it's up to us to do as a nation of people, to come back together, fight against the wicked doers. Guess what? Spiritually, so that the Lord can fight for us physically, man. Guess what? He'll do it both ways. The Lord said he'll make our enemies at peace with you. He'll make your enemy your footstool. And eventually when we send Christ back, hey, you're going to get the physical action that you've been dying to see, man. But we have to be patient in all these things and have to let the Lord exalt us in due time, right? But let's get this next precept, man. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 9. I ain't going to be a long class, brothers and sisters, man, just to kind of pick brothers up and get them all in the right spirit, man, for just to kind of make it through this dedication, man. So we can continue this move in the same one army, man. That's all we need to do, right? Go ahead, Doc.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, and verse 9.
Bring it out.
2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor.
Because you got to think about this time. Think about the Maccabees. It wasn't just Judas. It wasn't just Simon. It wasn't just Jonathan. It wasn't even just Mattathias. Because the thing is, because watch this. Let's go to First Maccabees real quick. I'm going to show you why the Lord said there's 2 better than 1, man. First Maccabees chapter 2, and start at verse 65.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
So this is Simon. This is one person, right? Read.
As for Judas Maccabees, he had been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain.
All right, this is the second person, right? Read.
And fight the battle of the people.
But watch this, read on.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
So guess what, man? He said take all the other people that observe the law, right? Guess what? That's not even a number that he put on it. That could be 10, 20, 50, 1,000, 10,000. Don't know this number, man. But guess what? It's more than one. It's not just one person that can sit there and fight one battle alone, man. If it was, it'd be one Israelite, not 144,000, not a 1/3. Guess what? Christ did it all on his own, but guess what? He gave it into our hands to see what we'll do with it, man. The ball is in our court now. What are we going to do with it, man? He loved us enough and trusted us enough for allowing us to get the job done, man. Keep his commandments to the end. Guess what? Do the things that we had to go do so we can make it out of here, right? But watch this. This is the good reward that we'll have, right? Read.
Verse 68. Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law.
And that's the good reward. Guess what? We're recompensing back to the heathen. We're showing them their damn condemnation, their judgment to come. We're showing them that, hey, we're waking back up to who we are as a nation of people. Guess what? We love our God. The Lord loves us. He hates y'all. He hates y'all with an everlasting hatred. And we're going to show these things to the 4 corners of the earth. Guess what? In the second part of that, it says, in taking heed to the commandments of the law. Now we coming back to our law, statute, commandments, coming back to our heritage, coming back to knowing, hey, we supposed to love one another. No more black on black crimes, brown on brown crimes. Guess what? Hate on hate crimes, man. Guess what? We coming back and we loving one another. We're doing all the things that the Lord wants us to do, and he strives for us to do each and every day. This is how the Lord sets things in order, and this is the good reward. When you have 2, that's better than 1, man. This is exactly how these things go. So during the dedication, brothers and sisters know that it wasn't just a solo battle. Yeah, Judas Maccabees fought all the wars, but guess what? Judas would listen to Simon for counsel, man. And guess what? When Jonathan passed, guess what? Simon took the charge, and even that's why you have a damn celebration of Day of Simon. That's why you have Judas Maccabees being that hammer. That's why you have Mattathias leading this charge and getting these people in order to dedicate the temple. There would be no order if we didn't trust one another and we didn't have one common goal, and that's to serve our God, man. Let's go back to the Ecclesiastes 4, man.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9.
Bring it out.
Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall,
Right.
the one will lift up his fellow.
And that's what we need in these last days, man. And when we falling in this truth, and we may be falling in that poor, waxing estate, we need one another to pick each other up. Guess what? It's not an everyday thing, man, where you think, oh, I got it on my own. I got it out the mud. I did it myself, dolo. We all used to like to be like that. Feel like we didn't need nobody. Feel like we'd do all these things. I remember I personally used to post on social media, I don't need nobody. I got it on my own. I'm by myself. But I'm still staying with my mama. My mama got me. That's not by myself. If I was by myself, I'd be homeless. Guess what? I needed somebody. And guess when you think you don't need nobody, you still need somebody. You need the Lord. You need Christ. You need these people to give these things, man. Guess what? Because if you don't have the Lord and you all on your own, well, guess what? Breathe on your own. Guess what? Make the oxygen. Make your heart pump. You do that. We can't do it, man. If it's not of the Lord, what can we do, man? This is the point of us coming together. This is the point of the Lord wanting us to come together. Read on out.
But woe to him that is alone.
It says destruction to that person, that brother, that sister that wants to be alone. You choosing to stay away. You choosing not to celebrate the dedication. You choosing not to be around like-minded brothers and sisters. You choosing to stray away. Do you want to be that lost sheep? The Lord said he's looking for the lost sheep, and you keep running. Why do you keep hiding if he's already looking for you? He's already sought you, and he's found you. Why continue to try to be lost whenever you found, man? The Lord said, with lukewarm people, he's going to spew you out your mouth, man. This is how the Lord does these things. He does these things in decency and in order to show you that, hey, my sheep do hear my voice, but not all his sheep are his, man. He going to have 2/3 of his sheep that's not going to make it, man. But he has 1/3 of his sheep who will hear their voice, not ignorant to it. Like even Soldier E Hood class, they were obedient to these things, man. They were obedient. They didn't backslide. They chose God over everything, man. But that's why he said, woe unto him when he falleth, right? Because read.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he had not another to help him up.
Because you don't have nobody, man. In this world, we need somebody. Like, who's that? Al Green? Need somebody to lean on, man. We need somebody. We all need somebody to lean on in these days, man, regardless of who it is. And guess what? If you feel like you don't got nobody in this world to lean on, guess what? You know the Lord is always there. The Lord said he going to send a comforter, which will come in my name. Who is that? That's Christ, man. This is what the Lord is doing. He establishes things in order, but now guess what? We got a body. We got a congregation. It's congregation across all four corners of this earth. Whether it's, Bill Withers. Thank you, sis. I said Al Green. You said, yeah. I knew it was somebody. Now, sis, they not old enough. That's what it was. They just don't know. Too young. Y'all still with behind it. I'm old. I forget. That's what happened.
I'm old too.
Man. But like I said, man, you don't gotta be with Battle Axes. Guess what? It's WFI. There's Sakari. Guess what? You got the brothers. You got BOW. You got IUIC. You got all these camps around the four corners of the earth. Someone is gonna bear witness with your spirit and get with them, because why? You don't want to be alone when these things happen. When it hits the fans and they say, hey, we're going against all the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, where do you want to be at, man? Do you want to be by yourself, be in your own governing body? Or guess what? Would you rather be around like-minded brothers and sisters who know the trials and tribulations to come, know the prophecies, and can comfort us in these times, man? It's something we got to put in our heads, right? You got something, Ross?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me get that Sirach chapter 6 and verse 13. Because even like to land back on what I was talking about in that Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9, about two being better than one.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies.
So it says, separate thyself from thy enemies, because, you know, a lot of our people, they want to be hand in hand with the heathen nations. And then we know we even got enemies of our own people. But read on.
And take heed of thy friends.
And do what?
And take heed of thy friends.
So if we are supposed to be one deep or by lonely, hey, the Lord wouldn't have said that. He says, and take heed of thy friends. Because read on, verse 14, the point.
Verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense.
Read that again.
A faithful friend is a strong defense.
So it says a faithful friend is a strong defense, because think about it. Even Christ called us a friend.
Right.
Who the hell wouldn't want to be Christ's friend? Who the hell wouldn't want to be the Most High God's friend? Because, hey, we know that we got friends like in this truth that we hold near and dear to us, man. But, hey, that'll be your ultimate friend that you want. That'll be like your best friend.
That's
Like
right.
your day one or your round one or whatever the case may be. But go ahead.
And he that had found such in one had found a treasure.
That did what?
Had found a treasure.
So once we found this truth, hey, because you can go in it with many different avenues, man, because you can call wisdom your friend. Hey, and like it was a treasure, man, because once we found out about this truth, hey, man, that was the best thing you could have, man. So we learning about who we are again. We coming back to, you know, our heritage, our
That's
customs
right.
that we do and everything, man. But that's it on that.
Man, that's right, man, because the thing is, that's why he made a great point. That's why we need Christ as our ultimate friend, man. Because we know he was perfect. There wasn't no gal found in his mouth, man.
Right.
He's going to give you the right counsel every time. You might be like, well, the Lord speak to me. He talked to me. I talked to him yesterday in my sleep. No, he didn't. The only way he's talking to you is through this right here, man.
Right.
And if you don't understand that, guess what? The Lord is say, hey, he put a veil on certain people's eyes, man.
So I threw a dream.
Now I'm talking about, hey, and dreams have fooled a lot of people, man. The Lord said, hey, our young ones are going to prophesy and have dreams, but guess what? It's up to you to find that interpretation thereof, right? And if you can't find it and you know you don't got it, then guess what? Don't put too much effort into that dream, right? I want to get something. Matter of fact, jump up to verse in that chapter 6. Jump up to verse 8. Read it.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
So guess what, man? You gonna have friends of this world that's your partners, your road dogs, my homegirl, man. That's my little sister, that's my little brother, that's my dog, that's my big homie. You gonna have all these type of people. But in the day of trouble, when these things go down, are they really gonna be there for you, man? Or are you gonna have brothers and sisters that you know to keep the commandments that's gonna be there for you, man? Who are these people that's going to turn into your real brothers and your real friends? 'Cause like I said in Matthew chapter 12, he said, hey, my brothers and my mother, my father, all these people are the ones that keep the commandments, man. It's up to us to come together to love one another and show us that brotherly love, that sisterly love. Guess what? That motherly love, that fatherly love, man. Because a lot of us grew up without fathers in the household, mothers in the household, grandparents, and we got everybody in diverse ages and kinds in this building, man, with a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. And this is where you come to grow. Guess what? It's a lot of things I've learned from my elders, people that are older than me. Guess what? I do have a father, and I love my father. And I've learned a lot of things from these elders, too, that have children. Guess what? They're father figures, man, because why? They're doing the right thing. They're showing me the ways that I should go. And guess what, man? I'm still a child to them, man. And I'm still learning. I'm taking it all in. Why? Because that's what my elders did. And guess what? My other elders have failed me, and look at them trying to pick up the slack, man. This is how these things go. Because watch this. Let's go to Proverbs real quick. Quick sidebar. Let's go to Proverbs 17 and verse 17.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 17. A friend loveth at all times.
Guess what? It says a friend loveth at all times, right? But watch this. Read.
And a brother is born for adversity.
But that brother, he going to be born for adversity. When things get rough, that's how you know you got a brother. Guess what? When all these things and all hell is breaking loose in your household, you don't got nowhere to go. You backed up into a corner, back into that wall. You got your brother with you, man. You got somebody with, you got a mighty sister right there with you, getting you through the thick and thin. You might be dealing with lust, man. You got your brother to lean on, man. Hey, man, you can get past it. Sister, you can get past it. You might be dealing with cigarettes, weed, alcoholism, man, drinking to get drunk. And you got a brother, sister in your corner rooting for you, telling you that, hey, we're going to go through these precepts. We're going to follow God, law, statutes, commandments, and we're going to get past this demon, man.
That's right.
The only way we can win in this kingdom is that we depend on each other, man. And we depend on each other by what? Leaning on the Lord. It's one common thing that we have, one common goal, making it to the kingdom. Only way we can do that is by what? Keeping the commandments. Matthew 19 and 16 all day, right? And the only way we can do this is if we continue to lean on one another. Remember this in dedication. When you are dedicating your body back to the Lord and your spirit, know that we had one sanctuary. We all cleansed together. Knowing that we got to do these things together. The brothers and sisters you sit with, man, on a day-to-day basis, y'all might have odds with one another because she said something. She said, oh, well, sis, you kind of dressed a little immodest to me. Sis, you kind of did a little too much with that. Or you might have an out with a brother. Yeah, I ain't like the way you told me that. Nah, I ain't like the way you said that. I ain't like the way you did that. Well, guess what? You had a lot of those odds in the world, man. But now you got an opportunity to do it the right way because y'all both read the Bible. Y'all both believe the things that's written in this Bible. And y'all both got the Lord with y'all, man. You know you're going to need this brother and sister one day. When Jacob trouble come, we're going to need every one of these people in this building, man. That's right. From the oldest to the youngest. Why not fix the ought between each other and not continue to hold that strife, envy, and that grudge, man? Because this is going to be to my next precept, man. Let's go to Romans, man, chapter 13 and verse 8. It's the main point I just brought out this class, man, because it's a lot of times I'm in the spirit. I ain't going to worry about nobody else because I'm in the spirit. I'm finna dedicate my temple. I'm finna start doing this for myself. I'm finna do this and this and that. Okay, well, a part of that is, guess what? Cleansing the whole sanctuary, man. You saying you're not going to do this, and that. But guess what? You still have unclean things within you. You're going to dedicate something unclean to the Lord. Guess what? Ask Abel.
Okay.
I mean, ask Abel. Did he do that? And ask Cain. He did that. So you see how?
Yeah, I got you.
Either way. But look at these things, man. Cain, guess what? Gave him an unclean sacrifice, man. Not to say it was pork, shrimp, crab, or swan, or anything like that. But guess what? It wasn't his best, man. It wasn't his best. It wasn't his all. Guess what? Abel gave his best. He gave his all. He loved his brother. But Cain said, hey, am I my brother's keeper? You got to look at these things for what it is, man. You brothers and sisters claim they sow in the spirit, but yet they still have secret oughts and secret, guess what? Secret envy, strife, all these backbiting, slandering. You have all these things towards another certain brother and sister, and you thinking you dedicating your temple back to the Lord, man, you going off, man. Sure. You're going to dedicate an unclean thing to the Lord and watch what he do to you, man. It's the same thing as sacrificing to a damn idol, man. Sure. We're going to get to it, man. Romans 13 and 8.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 8.
Bring it up.
Owe no man anything but to love one another.
Because guess what? Not a brother and sister owe you not a damn thing, man. Guess what? If a brother and sister don't shalom you as soon as they walk in the building, they don't owe that to you. They don't, oh, let me make sure. When I walk in, I got to make sure I say something to this brother. If I don't, the world is going to end. No. They don't owe you anything but to what? But to love one another, man. As long as you know that I love you, guess what? That's what it is, man. Because there'll be a lot of times when brother, sister might go home that's married. You might be tired from work. Esau don't work you to death. You might come in the house. You might not say too much because you don't feel like talking. And it's not that I don't love you. I'm just tired. Or guess what? Something else might be on your mind. You might come in there. You might be battling the spirit. And you trying to get it off and shake it off before class start. Or you might be trying to prep. Or you probably got children. You got to sit up in their chairs, get them snacked ready, get them all sit down. Whatever the case is. I don't owe you anything but to love you. If you know I love you, it shouldn't be a problem if I don't say something immediately when I come in. It shouldn't be a problem. If you feel like it's a problem, but guess what? You got to come to me about that, man. I don't have to come to you and be like, well, why you ain't speak to me? I mean, did I have to? Does that show any less of love that I have towards you or any type of respect do I have to you? These are the things we got to understand and take some of these small things because a lot of these times we acting like scribes or Pharisees, man. We straining at a gnat and swallowing at a camel, man. We choosing the small things. We got to be looking at the bigger picture, man. What he say? There's bigger fish to fry. But read that again, man.
Owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another had fulfilled the law.
Guess what? You fulfilled the law. Guess what? A Christian might say, see, all I got to do is love. But guess what? It's what do you want to call it? It's sections to this law, or it's levels to this, right? Watch this. We finna get to it. Read.
Verse 9. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery.
So guess what? If you love one another, you're not going to go and commit adultery. You're not going to go see another brother or sister and try to go sleep with them, knowing that you love your wife or know that you love your husband equally the same as much. And you have as much respect for that opposite party to not, hey, let's just not go freak off and go do all these things that's going against our God. Matter of fact, let's do these things in order, right? So you're not committing adultery, right? Read.
Thou shalt not kill.
Guess what? You're not killing your brother or sister, man. Just because y'all have a bad opposition, y'all bad, y'all don't like each other, Well, I don't like the way that you dress. I don't like the way that you walk. I don't like this block that you claim. Well, I don't like that block that you claim. Now we killing each other. For one, y'all both of y'all black asses is paying taxes to that same street. Both of y'all don't own the street. Anything on that street, the white man will come sweep it all up. And guess what? You wouldn't even have a block if that's what they felt like they wanted to do. But they gonna keep you there, because why? They know what y'all gonna do. We're gonna feed into the systematic violence and racism and kill each other, man. But it comes to us learning our Bible, learning how to truly love one another in order to come back to our God, man. But it says, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill. Read.
Thou shalt not steal.
Because guess what? I'm not finna go rob you, man. I'm not finna go hit a lick. Because a lot of times we hit licks on each other. I'm down. What you hitting me for? You gonna be more down than me. Like I used to say back in the day, man, you hustling backwards. You hustling backwards, bro. Like you robbing somebody that don't even got nothing. I just got this and you took it from me and somebody might take it from you. How does this work, man? But don't none of us be in Highland Park, the rich part of North Dallas, because I ain't gonna say North Dallas because they'll be like, I'll be in the know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But no, the real nice parts of North Dallas, guess what, where you don't see us there. Why? Oh, that's what the white folks is. I know they ain't gonna play no games. Why would you think that? They don't care about these stuff. They leave their doors unlocked, the keys in the car. Why? Because they know people like us won't be there. Because they know, hey, we hate each other so much, we rather steal from each other to make sure, hey, he don't get up. I don't like the way that nigga looking. See, he up right now. See, he done forgot about us. He didn't forget about nobody. But this is the hate, and this is the thing we got to get over, right? Like you said, it's like crabs in a bucket, man. As soon as one crab try to get out, they pull him back down. And then he try to get out, they pull him back down, man. These are the things that we got to get past in order to come back to our God, in order to love one another, right? But it says, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Read.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Guess what? We don't have no snitches. We don't have no dry snitches. Guess what? We don't have people spreading false claims. You will have no more IG lives, no more Facebook lives of people going on there telling what she did or what he said, knowing that they lying, claim with screenshots. You won't have none of these problems no more. Why? Because y'all have enough respect for one another that if there is a problem, y'all go Matthew 18 and 15. Handle the situation, get over it, right? And continue to grow. Read.
Thou shalt not covet.
Guess what? Covet, that's like hating on one another. You see that, hey, dang, I like his beanie. I want it. I gotta get it by any means necessary. Now I done killed this brother. I done took it. Now what? What did they gain me? A hat? Some money? A couple bands? What does it benefit you, man? Because once it's gone, guess what? What is the end all be all, man? Like, come on, let's see what these things does, man. This person said the law of Moses brings wrath, not peace. No, the law of Moses brings order. That's what it brought. But guess what? Christ had to come back and set a better example of what that order should be. Took out the sacrificial and kept all the others so that what? We could stay in order. I mean, that's just what it is, right? Take that up with the Lord, not with me. It says, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. Read.
And if there be any other commandment,
Read.
it is briefly comprehended in this saying.
So guess what, man? It said anything under this, any other commandment, like wearing fringes, not eating any unclean foods, keeping the feast days, it's briefly comprehended in this. Read.
In this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's right. Read on.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Read.
Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
Fulfilling of the law, man. This is what it is, man. This is the fulfilling of the law, man. Knowing that we're doing all these things in order. Because guess what? If you truly love one another, you are keeping the law. It's not to say that you're not keeping it, that you fulfill it. No, but that you're fulfilling the purposes of what the law is standing for. To love one another, to keep God's commandments, and continue to break down these strongholds, man, that's on our people. This is what happens, man. This is literally what happens, right? Let's go to, where I'm gonna go? Let's go to 1 Maccabees. I want to kind of get into some of these sacrifices that we have, man. 1 Maccabees chapter 4, Salaki. Chapter 4 and verse 44. I mean, 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 44. My bad.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 44.
Bring it up.
For the king has sent letters by messengers. Verse 44 from the top. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
So we in 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 44. It says, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem in the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So guess what? This is King Antiochus, right? Saying that we all should be one people. We all should serve one God, and that's not the God of heaven. Doing all these things, right? That's strange to us. But watch this, read.
And forbid burnt offerings
Read.
and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple.
So guess what? Stop us doing our offerings to the Lord that we used to do daily at that time, right? But read.
And that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
And go against the Sabbath, going against the feast days. No more Sabbaths. It's Sunday worship. No more Feast of Dedication. You're going to keep Christmas. No more Passover. It's Easter. Guess what? No more tabernacles. It's Halloween. This is what they want you to do. This is what they want you to stop. Stop doing the Sabbaths and stop doing the festival days. Why? So that they can rule over us. We can be in sin, and guess what? They'll be up one, right? This is how these things go, man. But those burnt offerings, those sacrifices, and those drink offerings, let's make it relevant to today. Guess what? That's like you serving your God. You going to class day in and day out. You reading, you study, you praying, you fasting. You doing all the things that the Lord wants you to do. And then you're going to have a heathen tell you, hey, you got to stop doing that. You don't eat pork. Well, we want you to eat pork. You don't hate your brother. Well, we want you to hate your brother. We want you to kill. We want you to steal from him. We want you to get up on him. We want you to make rap music about killing one another. And we want y'all to live that life. We want y'all to be shicey. We want y'all to pull on them ski masks and go rob and go hit strikers. We want y'all to go do that. We want y'all to do that. Guess what? This is what they're gonna try to do to us now. This is what the media is pushing. But it's up to us to do what our forefathers did and to stand up against these things, man. Knowing the wickedness that they're doing, point it out and say, hey, we're not going for it, man. This is what we have to do, right? It said it made us forbid all these things, man. Picture somebody say, hey, you can't go to the Sabbath no more. No, you can't go to them battle axes. No, you can't go no more. Those feast days, no more new moons for you. What you gonna do? You're gonna be like, okay, you're right. I won't do it anymore. I really didn't even like it. Or you gonna stand for your God, man. Because these people, they die for their laws, man. They die for it. What are you willing to do, man? But this is why you need one another. Because if you faint, you got somebody that could probably pick you up and give you that spirit back to you. Man, we ain't going for it, all right? Man, I know, bro. But no nothing. No buts, man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. We're going to die for our lives. We're going to die for our laws, die for our country, man. The nation, hey, the real nation of Israel, man. Yasharallah, man. But read on.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Read on, huh?
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
So this is what they want us to do. They want us to sacrifice unclean animals, unclean beasts, set up chapels of idols, groves, and altars. Think about it today. They want you to fill your body with all these unclean things, all these unclean doctrines, saying that good is good, bad is good, good is bad. This is what they want. This is what they want to push on our people, right? This is the agenda that they're pushing, man. This is how these things go. But watch this, read.
Verse 48. That they shall also leave their children uncircumcised.
Guess what? Don't teach your children nothing. Teach them to be YNs. Teach them to be crash outs. Don't teach them God's law, statutes, commandments. Don't teach them how to be a young man or a princess in this truth. Don't tell them, hey, you're not supposed to just sleep with women whenever your little thing get hard, man. You got to wait till you get old enough. Prove a wife. Guess what? Love her. And then do these things, man. Guess what, little sisters, man, you don't got to be so hot. Guess what, Sexy Red is going to burn in hell if she don't repent, man. So guess what, Megan Thee Stallion, all these people that's promoting all these provocative things to our children are going to pay for these things, man, except they repent, man. Well, guess what, unless you're a heathen, then you don't get no type of repentance. You just prepare for what's to come. But all you Israelites, man, and when these things reach the four corners of the earth, man, hey, you got to repent for these things, man. You got to repent, man. Because this is what they pushing. Leave your children uncircumcised, right? Read.
And make their souls abominable.
Read.
With all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Profanation, man. Everything profane, man. This is what they want to push on our people. Why? Read.
To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
And these are the things that's gonna be that's on the way to come, man. Guess what? You might not be actually sacrificing no more. You might not be setting up these idols, but guess what you are? Because watch this, man. Let's go to Colossians. Go to Colossians real quick. We're gonna go to Colossians chapter 3. We're gonna start at verse 5. Go ahead.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 5.
Bring it up.
Mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth,
Read.
fornication, uncleanness, inordinate,
Inordinate affection.
Inordinate affection, evil concupiscence,
Concupiscence.
and covetousness, which is idolatry.
Guess what? All these things is idolatry to the Most High God, man. Guess what? What does it mean? If it's idolatry, that means you're sacrificing unto it. Every time you go back and you do one of these things in your body, in your members, guess what? You're laying that up for these things, man. You're not laying your treasures upon in the kingdom. You're laying it on this earth, man. So these are the things, right? Even like it said in 1 Maccabees, it says that they should set up altars, groves, chapels of idols, sacrifice swine, flesh, and unclean beasts. Guess what? That's why you mortify your members today from fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, covetousness, which is idolatry. All these things are out against the Most High God, and he has a problem with these things. Back then, they did it physically. Now we're doing it physically and spiritually, man. Guess what? Them unclean beasts and unclean things are us now. We have to mortify these things. We have to cleanse ourselves, cut it off, leave it alone, man. If we want to truly serve our Lord and rededicate our temple, this is what we have to do, right? But it's not just that. Because like I said, a lot of brothers and sisters think, okay, well, I don't even do none of that. But watch this. We're going to read down, man.
Verse 6, for which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience.
That's right. Read.
In the which ye also walk sometimes when ye live in them.
Because guess what? We all used to walk in that same thing. I know I used to walk hard in fornication, uncleanliness, man, covetousness. I used to walk hard in these things, man. It wasn't a sister that I didn't see that I wanted to do nothing with. It wasn't no money that I didn't want to go make. It was a lot of things that I used to see people want, but hey, I wanted it too, man. But these are the things that I had to put away and I had to mortify in order to grow, not only to myself within, but guess what? To grow with my God and grow connection, man. But read on, huh?
Verse 8, but now ye also put off all these.
See, it's more. It's more to it. It ain't just fornication. It ain't all these. It's something else. Read.
Anger,
man. Because guess what? A lot of us people, we harbor anger. We're mad at another brother and sister so much to the wish that we don't even talk to them no more. Oh, guess what? We'll put on this front in front of them all the time. And when we get behind closed door, man, I can't stand that brother. I can't stand this sister. She always got something. She always got you in this. Man, she tried to say something about me, but I remember when she was woo-doo. I'm like, why are you still holding on to that? You want to keep that in your trick bag so you can pull it out to that sister. That's wicked on your part, man. A lot of times we be sitting there thinking that we in order, we complete in order with our God, but you harboring anger and all these mixed emotions whenever you could have Matthew 18 and 15 and got this problem solved. Because guess what? You got to clear your blood, clear the blood out of your hands, man. Because guess what? That's still sin. Anger, all these things, man. Watch this, read.
Wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth.
All these things, man, are out against the Lord, man. Wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth, man. And if you still harboring these things as an Israelite in this truth, keeping the feast of dedication, knowing that you have to purge these things, man. Because guess what? A lot of these things we do to one another. We have malice. We have anger. Guess what? Filthy communication. These are the things that we do to one another. So a lot of times when brothers and sisters feel like they in complete order, make sure that you're in complete order with everybody around you. Make sure that you have no ought against them. Make sure that you love one another truly. Because when you're doing these things, that's when you're truly mortifying your member and cleansing your temple. That's how you can dedicate it back to the Lord and he'll accept it, man. But watch this, read.
Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds.
And this is what we do. We put off that old man with his deeds. That old man and the wicked deeds he used to do, man, these are things we wouldn't even speak of, man. Cap always say, man, it's stuff that it's in the dark that we don't ever want to come to the light about us. I know some things that, hey, it's some skeletons in my closet. I want to make sure they stay there, man. So I know, guess what? I need to make myself a better man, put off that old man, so that my good can outweigh my bad, man, when Christ come back. This is exactly how these things go. This is the order we need to be in order to continue to fight the fight, man. Fight the good fight, knowing that the Lord loves us and we got to come back together and do these things, right? But I would say this too. Whenever we are dedicating ourselves back to the Lord and doing all these things, we have to know in what order we're doing it in. Because it's different administrations that people can do, different things that people do. Guess what? That's why you have captains, officers, soldiers. Guess what? Just regular members. Or guess what? Even within the soldiers, you have certain soldiers that do A, B, C, and D. You have certain soldiers that do E, F, G. You have certain soldiers that do H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You don't know these things, but guess what? Don't never go out your way to try to do something that you know that's what you don't do. Because a lot of times you can put yourself in more trouble than what you think, man. Because watch this. Let's get an example. Let's go to 1 Maccabees. 1 Maccabees, we're going to go to chapter 5 this time. Chapter 5, and we're going to start at verse... let's go to verse 56.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 5, and verse 56. Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azarias, captains of the garrisons, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they had done. Wherefore they said, let us also get us a name and go fight against the heathen that are round about us.
So guess what, man? These is Joseph, right? And Azarias. These are captains of the garrisons. Back home, they heard all the fame of Judas Maccabees and all the mighty things that he done, right? All the wars he've won and all these things, right? They said, well, we're gonna go make a name for ourselves too, man. We're gonna go do it. But watch this read.
So when they had given charge unto the garrisons, they was with them.
That was with them.
Shalakia. They went toward Jamnia. Then came Gorgias and his men out of the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight, and pursued unto the borders of Judea. And there was slain that the day of the people of Israel about 2,000 men.
So guess what, man? They went to try to go fight when they came, and not only they were killed, but 2,000 men were killed, man. But watch this read.
Thus was there a great overthrow among the children of Israel.
Read.
Because they were not obedient unto Judas.
And you see how these things go, man. They weren't obedient to Judas, man. Judas gave them a specific charge, and they chose to do otherwise, man. They felt like, oh, well, we're going to go do something better. Guess what? Think about King Saul. Whenever he didn't kill the damn Amalekite, we wouldn't have no more Edomites if he just would have listened. Guess what? Don't take of the spoils, burn it all. But he said, nah, I'm going to keep the cattle, and I'm going to make a burnt offering to you, Lord. But he said, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you to do that. You asking more things than I asked you to do. Guess what? Azarias and Joseph had one thing to do. That was to keep the garrison. Did they do it? No. And guess what? You got what you got, man. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
I'll do you one better. Hey, it's one when we first got into the truth. For me, Uriah, Jose, and who else was it? And Daoud. We had went out in front of LA Gourmet, trying to teach. We ain't get confounded or nothing, but hey, lo and behold, Captain Benaniyah and Captain Yara pulled up on us. Hey, it kind of scored us a little bit because at that time, like, yeah, we had that zeal upon us, to try to teach our people, but we wasn't built up enough, man.
That's right.
And, the Lord, he spared us on that aspect because he could have had us go out there and get confounded. But, hey, that's the same way with Azarias and, what was his name? And Joseph. Hey, but on their behalf, hey, they were slain, man.
That's right.
But that's it.
Because the thing is, they weren't obedient to Judas. That's the same thing as your captain, your officer, man. A fellow soldier giving you a task or something to take heed to. Well, guess what? I make it even better. Your husband giving you a commandment to take heed to, and you choose to not do it, just try to do something else, thinking you're going to make the situation better. But guess what? You actually make it worse. If you know that a captain tell you to do this specific thing, and then you go out and go do something else, guess what? You're going to have to get what you're going to get. You might not get killed. Guess what? The Lord might not just get rid of you or take the Holy Spirit away from you, but you don't know how these things go, man. You don't know what the Lord is going to do to you for you not obeying somebody, man. He didn't say you didn't obey the Lord. You obeyed Judas. Because why? Judas is in order with the Lord. Judas wouldn't put nothing on you. Wasn't going to put nothing on them brothers that they couldn't handle. Same way that the captains and the leadership do these things, man. In order to be in complete order with these things, man, we have to listen to leadership, man. This is what comes with it. He said, hey, it says, thus where there was a great overthrow among the children of Israel because they were not obedient unto Judas. Judas Maccabees told them to do one thing and they did another. And guess what? 1,000 of them died. 2 of them chose to do the wrong thing and 1,000 people died. Just think about these things, man. You do something wrong by you thinking you can do it by yourself, and now you done lost your whole family behind it. You thinking you just so right and so good, and now you done lost so much more because you didn't count the cost, man. You didn't count the cost. You didn't know that that's not my administration. Guess what? If I know I'm on the grill, I'm on the grill. I'm not going to stop doing the grill to try to cook a side knowing I can't cook. Or guess what? I'm not going, okay, I'm a cleanup crew, but I'm finna try to grill knowing I can't grill. It's different administration with all these things. These are just small, minute things, but it's a lot of things that come with dedicating the temple, man. Guess what? Everybody had a job, man. You had Levites, you had porters, you had the cleansers of the sanctuary. You had all these things that had all these different orders, but guess what? It was all to do one thing, and that was to serve the Lord. That's right. In order to do these things, we have to follow our God, man. We have to, man. And this is what comes with order, right? But watch this, read. 62.
Verse 62. Moreover, these men came not of the seed of those by whose hand deliverance was given unto Israel.
And man, I love that, man. I love this precept, man. He said, man, hey, you didn't come out, it's not your lot. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what the Lord's saying. He didn't come out them king seed, man. It's not in your lot. Your father didn't birth you to do that, man. Guess what? When you're born upon this earth, you don't know what your lot is. But once you find it, hey, you got to be to it. When you call yourself trying to be in somebody else's lot and take on another type of burden, you get what come with it, man. I always said, he said, these men came out of the seed of those by whose hand deliverance was given unto Israel. Because whose seed was that? That was Mattathias' seed. Because he gave out who? Judas, Simon, Jonathan. He gave out these mighty men of valor to go fight the battles. But guess what? The Lord gave Joseph and Azarias out of their father's seed to go do what? Keep the garrison. Did they do that? No. So what happened? Not only they died, guess what? 1,000 other people did it because they chose to go off, man. Think if you go off in your household, man. Think of what happened to your family. Because it didn't just affect them. It didn't say those 2 men died. No, it said them plus 1,000. It was a great overthrow in Israel because of something that they chose to do, man. You got something? And that's why I said, it said whose hand deliverance was out of these things, right? But let's sit on that, man. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Just to kind of land me back on that, man. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 4.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are
Diversities
of gifts, but the same Spirit.
Because guess what? One brother might have the gift of making music, making garments, sewing fringes, cooking, cleaning, driving, whatever the case is, right? But it says, but the same Spirit. Why? Because he's driving to make ends meet to serve the Lord. He's cooking to make sure that the Lord accepts this. Guess what? He's making garments so the Lord can accept this garment and knowing that we come back to our heritage. It's all different things that we play a part in. But guess what? It's all the same Spirit. It's all the same temple, man. You good?
Oh, no,
You reading the comments? Okay. But these are the things. It says, now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. Whenever we're coming together to serve the Lord and dedicate the temple back to the Lord, it was one altar that they all chose to, guess what, sanctify. Guess what? We all have our own temples now, but guess what? We want to make it to the heavens, right? So we all have to come together to do these things in order so we all can make it, man. Why not have one camp that's completely in order? The wives love the husband love the wives. They all in complete order and submission. The children are in order. The captains are in order. The leadership is in order. But we can never get there, and we will never get there if we choose not to love one another, man. That's the least that the Lord said you owe it. You owe him. You don't owe nobody nothing else but to love one another. So if that's the case, then hey, I got to make sure that I fulfill the Lord's commandment and keep that anger, malice, and strife out of my heart, man. You don't do it, and guess what the Lord will do to you? He'll continue to send these plagues, send these waves on you. You wonder why you can't get out this rut. You still stuck in this damn bind. These things are not resolving itself. I'm praying, I'm fasting, I'm leaning on the Lord, but nothing is changing. Why? Because you're still harboring old feelings. You're not choosing to let these things go, man. The Lord said you got to let it go, man. The Lord said you got to forgive your brother 7 times 70. You don't have to forget about it, but you got to forgive him, man. But watch this read on, all right?
Verse 5. And there are difference of administrations, but the same Lord.
Because it's different administration. You got the captains' administrations, the officers, the soldiers, the sisters. There's different administration, all these things, but we all working in the same Lord, man. All of us. Guess what? Judas had a different administration from Simon. Simon had a different administration from Jonathan. Guess what? All the Maccabees, the Maccabees, they had different administration from the people who followed them. Guess what? Joseph and Azarias had a different administration from the Maccabees. But guess what? It was all working to the same spirit as with to serving the Lord and making sure we dedicate the temple and keep these things going, man. Why do you think we're going to have 144,000, the 12 that's judging? You're going to have the Most High, you're going to have Christ, then you're going to have the 1/3. It's order in every single place. And all these things coincide with what? Serving the Lord, man. This is how it goes, right? But read.
Verse 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God, which worketh all in all.
Because guess what, man? Don't think that whatever you're doing is smaller than the next brother. You might be sweeping up a little bit of trash, but that might equate to the same amount as another brother taking out all the trash, might be cooking, might turn around and wipe something down. You don't know. But guess what? You know, when you are doing these things, you make sure you give it your all to the Lord, because that's what it all boils down to. Because watch it. Let's go to Colossians. Probably be the last thing, man. Colossians, man. Colossians chapter 3. So like 3 and 17. No matter of fact, 3 and 23. Go ahead.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men.
Because whatever your administration is, make sure you're doing it wholeheartedly to the Lord and not for men. You're not just cleaning up. You're not just doing all those things. You're not just reading, praying, and fasting so you can have all the precepts, all the understanding, so you can look good in front of your captains or look good in front of the next brother or sister. You just want a sister to look at you. Oh, he mighty in the scriptures. Oh, I like him. I got to have it. No, you should be doing this for the Lord, man. Never lose sight of what you're doing this for. Because once you do, guess what? You get lost in it. You get puffed up, and then that's when the Lord going to cast you down, man. Whenever you do it all heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. Read.
Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance.
Read.
For ye serve the Lord Christ.
That's right, man. Because guess what? What is that inheritance that we all going to get? Guess what? The kingdom, man.
Right.
We all working to building up this one temple, this one sanctuary, so that we can make it, man. This is how we do these things, right? Read.
Verse 25. But he that doeth wrong.
But guess what, you brothers and sisters who don't want to let stuff go, don't want to let it just go on, don't want to grow from things, want to keep harboring on old things, want to keep those unclean things in your temple and your sanctuary. Read.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he had done.
Because guess what? Whatever is in you, whatever you dedicate to the Lord, that's what he's going to give back to you. The Lord said in Galatians 6 and 7, you reap what you sow. You reap iniquity, guess what? You're going to sow iniquity, man. Sure. You reap corruption, you're going to get corruption. But if you sow incorruption, you're going to receive incorruption, man. This is how the Lord does. He's always been about perfect order, man. So guess what? If you do wrong and you dedicate something wrong to the Lord, he's going to dedicate something wrong back to your ass, man. Come on, man. He said, hey, you ain't got to worry about catching a dog. You got to worry about the dog catching your ass, man. This is how these things go, right? But read.
And there is no respect of persons.
Because it don't matter who you are, man. When it comes to serving the Lord, he don't care who you are, from the youngest to the oldest, man. That's why the Lord said, touch not even my little ones, man. This is how these things go, man. Let's get this last precept. Go to Psalms, chapter 116. Psalms 116 and start at verse 12. And get there, right? Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 116, verse 12. what shall I render unto the Lord for all his benefits towards me?
Guess what? King David asked, man, what can I get a Lord for everything that he's done for me? Brothers and sisters, when you dedicating your temple back to the Lord during this feast of dedication, think about what can you truly get a Lord for all the kindness, all the mercy and compassion he's had for you, man. Really, truly think about it, because when you sit and meditate on it and you know that you can't give him everything, guess what? You're going to try your best to give him everything. You're going to put away that old man. You're going to put away that old woman. Why? Because you truly want to try to give your all back to the Lord, because that's the least that you can do for him, right? Read.
Verse 13, I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of the Lord.
Read.
I will pay my vows unto the Lord, now in the presence of all his people.
Because that's what we're doing. We paying our vows unto the Lord. When we come to the dedication, we having a good time. Brothers and sisters are cleaning up, cooking, having a good time, loving one another. Music is going. This is order to the Lord. You might think it's just a normal party or we just turning up on a dedication. No, you are literally fulfilling what the Lord wanted us to do. Know these things, because it makes the feeling so much better. That's a different type of high, knowing that I'm having fun, I'm turned. Like, we singing, you know what I'm saying? We singing Revelations 2 and 5, you know what I'm saying? We remember and therefore for whence we are falling. We singing hard. And once you know that you're doing it for the Lord, it makes it so much better, man. It makes it so much better. But read.
Verse 15, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints.
Because guess what? The Lord, it is a precious thing in the sight of the Lord. See the death of his saints, man. Seeing the saints kill off that old man, kill off that old woman, keeping these feast days regardless of the fact, man. And guess what? If we do have to perish for these things and doing well, then guess what? The Lord is proud of these things, man. He's proud to see you growing in the spirit, doing these things that he wants you to do, man. He said it's precious in his sight, man, to see these things, man. He says, be faithful unto death, right? Endure until the end. And this is what we got to do, man. Read.
Verse 16, O Lord, truly I am thy servant,
Read.
I am thy servant, and the son of thy handmaid. Thou hast loosed my bonds.
Bro, the Lord has loosed our bonds, man. Took us away from the law of sin and death, man. Gave us an opportunity to repent, come back to him wholeheartedly. Took us out of the ways of this world and gave us these law, statute, commandments, man. He's loosed these bonds, man. But what are we going to do now that we're free? Are we going to go back to jail? Go back to prison? He said guess what, to free those in the prison houses, right? Are we going to go back to those prison houses? Go back to the dark? This is for you to decide when you're dedicating your temple, man. The Lord said he's going to light the candlestick. You got to keep it going. What are you going to do now, man? Read.
Verse 17, I will offer to thee the sacrifice of thanksgiving.
That's right. Read.
And will call upon the name of the Lord.
Read.
I will pay my vows unto the Lord, now in the presence of all his people.
Guess what? When y'all see me on the dance floor, when y'all see me having my drink, when y'all see me rapping and doing everything that I do, knowing that I'm paying all my vows to the Lord in front of all y'all, and I'm going to do it better than all y'all. I'm going to turn up harder than y'all. I'm going to turn down harder than y'all. I'm going to clean up harder than y'all. Because why? I'm paying my vows to the Lord, man. And when it comes to them questions, come Sabbath, when Sister Deborah and them in here because she thought I forgot, and Sister Hanaya, I'm going to pay all my vows when I'm answering the questions before y'all, for the men. And this is what we do, right? But read on, not.
Verse 19, in the courts of the Lord, house in the midst of thee, O Jerusalem, praise ye the Lord.
And this is what we're going to be doing, man. In the courts of the Lord's house, in the midst of thee, guess what? We're going to be praising the Lord, man, through the midst of it all, man. It's all love, man. It's all love, man. I love all my brothers and sisters. I pray that y'all continue to repent, come back to God, law, statutes, commandments, and let us continue to finish out the dedication strong, man. And with that, man, we're going to say shalom. Shalom to brothers and sisters that tuned in, man. Y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. Y'all help us push this truth around the four corners of the earth. Thank you, brothers and sisters that get to the GoFundMe, to the Cash App. That money is being greatly used for the magnification of a kingdom, magnification of this nation. Continue to keep the bills paid. Continue to keep brothers and sisters fed that is here physically and spiritually. Because guess what? Those alms go for the Wi-Fi, go for the light bill, the water bill. Guess what? Even food to feed us on Sabbaths, man. To keep us going during dedication so that we have ample opportunity to continue to feed the sheep, man. So we thank you. Thank you, brothers and sisters, that give to, guess what, the spiritual sacrifices, man, those spiritual things, man. Mighty prayers, mighty fastings, not only for yourselves, but for the nation, man. The water for you, brothers and sisters, man. Here at the Battle Axes, man, we always finish with a law, statute, or commandment. This is going to be you could say a law. We're going to go to Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 35. just to kind of let me back on the whole class. When brothers fall, man, we got to be there to pick each other up. Leviticus 25 and verse 35. Go ahead,
The
Rob.
book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxing poor and falling and decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger.
Meaning he's not from that land. Guess what? If I'm Judah and I came into the land of Benjamin and I don't got no money or I don't have no food, I will go to my brothers and he will restore me back to my full estate, right? Read.
Or a sojourner, that he may live with thee.
Read.
Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee.
Guess what, man? This is what we want to do. If we see our brothers and sisters come in here, whether you come in here from the Battle Axes, whether you come in from a different congregation, and we see that you falling on low and decayed estate, it's up to us to keep the Lord's commandments and continue to help one another, man. Pick each other up and get us back to our rightful estate, man. And this goes for the dedication. When we are dedicating our temple back to the Lord and we see brothers and sisters struggling with the dedication, we're here to, hey, pick each other up, get those spirits off one another, and continue to grow, man. Because guess what? If we all fight together, we'll all win together, man. But with that, man, y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Sabbath class, mighty class, gonna come over the dedication. We'll have a great time tomorrow at the ball. Brothers and sisters, man, Shabbat Shalom. Happy Feast of Dedication. Y'all continue to stay in the spirit. Continue to do the things that the Lord wants y'all to do, man. And love y'all brothers and sisters, man. Shalom.